the family business. And I think in Indian business sphere, corporates, anywhere, the basic cornerstone has always been the family, whether it is how you live your life and how you work. And the family business at whatever stage, even our business is run by two brothers. So it is a business which is a family centric, and family is always the center of the business. But there's also major issues. People can't deal with, staying in the same house as their bosses, and the other issues also, which it depends from generation to generation. So let me first begin by asking both Kamlesh and you. So Kamlesh, first you tell us a little bit about the business, when it started, how many people are involved right now?
Thank you so much, ET, all the members present here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Bikramji, thank you so much. Started in 1982 when I started this business. My family has been in business for many years. My father started business way back in the 1930s.
The same thing?
No.
Okay.
At one point, my dad did do business of jari.
So when did you guys come to
My
Bangalore?
dad came to Bangalore in 1932.
Okay.
And he started with the business of ghee.
Ghee?
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of the people even today in the city know him by that name of Ghiwala.
Okay. Okay.
Then he did the jari business for many years, the real jari, and he did the business of silk thread. I started with the products of saris and fabrics.
You moved one stage ahead.
Yeah, in 1982. It was a very small store, about 100 square feet in Juma Masjid Road. Within a couple of months, I realized, okay, retail customers were walking in, but I didn't have products for them. So I started modifying, started adapting to what they could buy from me. The day I did a first sale of 1,000 rupees was my first day's retail sale when I actually did a sale. That gave me a lot of motivation. Yaar, idhar to paisa hai, kuch karna chahiye. Yes. So listening to customers every day, I started changing the products. Very soon, in a couple of years, I had to tell my brother to join me. The business is growing and I need hands. So he did morning college. Daytime, he used to be with me in the work.
Like a good Marwadi boy.
I didn't complete. I dropped out in 12th
also
standard.
Like a good Marwadi boy.
From there on, things started moving. And we always kept to one thing, okay, customers are asking for this, what can I give them better? So a lot of design intervention started happening. A lot of production started happening. And slowly, we started getting a lot of celebrities coming to our store, even though we were in Juma Masjid Road. People around used to sometimes tell us, yaar, celebrities ko mat bulao, hamare dhande kharab ho jate hain, road block ho jata hai. So that's how the journey went on. And then we moved to another location, then we moved to another location. Now we have two stores, one in Bangalore, one in Hyderabad, both put together about 35,000 square feet plus. We have a back end which is about 25,000 square feet. And
how many people do you employ?
We have upwards of 450 people.
And turnover?
Turnover is there, chal raha hai.
Okay, fine. Okay, Shakir, you of course are the third generation in your business. So tell me a little bit about that journey, how your grandfather started and what the company is at right now. And everybody in Bangalore would have eaten, if not heard about Empire Restaurant.
Thank you, Bikramjit, and thank you, Economic Times, for this opportunity. Very humble beginnings. My grandfather was a Malaysian citizen back then, though of Indian origin. And being close to the northern side of Kerala, from a district from Kasargod. And the closest trade hub used to be Bangalore. And most of the people from there either were in the Gulf or in the southeast or in Bangalore trading. And it was his dream too to start a restaurant. And it was such that the morning that he reached and the restaurant that he saw pick up in an area called Majestic, that went out of hand. And utterly disappointed, he ended up taking the place in Central Street, which was our first outlet near the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And from there, I think, selling chai and samosas, eventually it came down to parotas and biryani and kebab. So it was the late 70s when my father came in, second generation, the second son as well. With that, the Bangalore had a pub culture and a very cosmopolitan kind of an attitude. And Bangalore since then was only continuously growing. With that, we could involve people who have worked across the country, came down. Though they've spent a very short time in Empire, I think they've created history. Because certain dishes were served by certain people who came in from, let's say, from Chennai. One gentleman, Mr. Gupta, I still remember his name. He was the one who mastered the butter chicken recipe of Empire today. and that it's been, I think, 39 years now. So with all of that, I think humble beginnings. And when my dad came down, I think he was doing a turnover of probably 120 rupees that day. And I think towards the end of his time, that was in 2015, he could leave with a memorable, a valuable gift for us, which was almost about 150 crores. So that was the journey that came in. And today, we were able to expand with the love of the people. And we've been venturing late into the night, which really got popular with the pub culture and people going out. And we more or less, expanded as and when the city was growing itself. I think that the city has given us a lot, and we were able to give back each time. And it's continuously happening, yes.
How many stores?
Today, we are proudly operating close to about 34 full-fledged stores and about 17 cloud kitchens across the city as well as in Mysore and highways, yes.
Okay. So you're in 3 locations, in 3 cities?
2 cities primarily, yes.
Okay. And what is your turnover?
We are looking to, with a target of 600 for this year, inshallah, yes.
Wow. Okay. 600 crores.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the structure of a family business and how it helps in the growth, in your feeling that you're working with family, which sometimes is not always a happy occasion, but it's something that, what does it do? What does it do to the business, and how does it make it, in your view, how does it move towards success? It's not a corporate setup. It's not a professional so-called setup. How is it different? How is the family business setup different?
For many years, we were not a professional kind of a setup, but the path to grow was pretty much chalked out in our minds as Marwadi boys. When my brother joined, okay, we are equals, and we demarcated our responsibilities very clearly. These are his responsibilities, these are my responsibilities. We each had our own forte, at what we were good. So after a year or two, we again shuffled it, no, you're much better at this, you're much better at this. So that's how the changes happened. And then we kind of found a structure, okay, these are the departments he's best at, these are the departments which are very good for me. And that's how you could concentratedly grow the entire organization, because you had very, very clear-cut lines of the performance of what your departments were and how to deliver. Along with that, we started adapting technology into our business very, very early. Being a very small organization also, we digitized our accounting processes way back in 1988.
Oh, wow.
When Tally had just started from a garage. That is the time we digitized our accounting process. By 92, we had our own software. We were the first company in this trade to use barcodes.
Okay.
In our trade, nobody had heard of barcodes anywhere in the country. So we were the first people to adapt barcodes. So taking help of technology, spending money on technology, and helping us grow faster with technology even for our other requirements like design aspects, production aspects, tracking aspects. All those started coming in one by one. And that's when we realized that technology and our business put together is a fantastic mix. Even there, we had our demarcation of responsibilities, and that is how the family business grew. 43 years since I've started it. It's been about 40 years since my brother joined me. Touchwood, we are still
And the
working
next
together.
generation has already joined?
Yes, my nephew joined me about 20 years plus back. My elder son joined me about 15 years back, and so on. Younger son joined me about 8 years back. And they've also stuck on because we stuck to the principle of demarcated responsibilities very clear.
How do you, I mean, before I come to you, Shakir, how do you, like the younger generations, as the younger people come, they have different views about the business. They have different attitude to life.
Very good. Very
How do
valid
you
question.
deal with that? Because, they can say, no, I want to be a...
It's a very valid question because this is a very, very big white elephant in most family businesses. So we adopted the policy in a very simple way. If the youngsters are coming in, if we are not going to utilize their young blood and energy in the right way, they are not going to last in the business. So we would give them departments and give them freedom to operate that department. Freedom. No overseeing every day, and started slowly with regular meetings, more towards the corporate structure. We had by that time started soft professionalizing, not hardcore professionalizing, but soft professionalizing. And we realized that when you give them the reins of a department and leave it to them to operate, the results are way better than what you would have expected. because they are able to channelize their energy and they have that freedom to operate. And the youngsters to hold on in a family business, according to me today, the key is giving them demarcated responsibilities, giving them the freedom to operate and grow that department.
And are
Along
you,
with that, giving them the sense of belonging.
are you a more indulgent boss because you're also the father and uncle, or are you stricter?
Well, so there, my policy is very simple.
I know I have to ask them also the same question, but since you're here, I'm asking you.
In the work hours, I am equivalent to a boss. Outside work hours, I'm a father and a friend. So that's what works.
That dynamic is very important.
That dynamic is very important. Because if you become a father and a friend in the organization, either way, this way or that way, both ways, there's going to be some kind of differences which will rub off at some point. So that demarcation, yes, in the organization, you are reporting to so-and-so person. He's your boss. It may not be me. It may be my brother. But he's the reporting head of yours. And outside, let's go down, have a cup of coffee, and we are good to talk as friends or father and son.
So right now, you, your brother, your nephew, and your two sons.
Yeah.
That is the core of the
Yeah,
business.
we have a lot of the family members in the business, but now the family members slowly, I'll come to that when you say how the wheels are moving.
Yes. Okay. So Shakir, you, unlike him, you actually joined as a third generation, as a younger generation, and you were doing something else before you came over.
Not really. For me, I think my dad being the second son and his older brother joined much later. So it was my dad and his younger brother who did most of the hard work, established the business. So if you see the second official outlet we opened was in 2003. So from 1966 to 2003, that long journey where we went about establishing that brand, purchasing the property, putting out a new building, and then looked at expansion. Because in that generation, the calculated risk was far higher. And they had to ensure everything sustained. So nobody was aggressive in that time. Then came along a young, bright gentleman who went on to become the general manager for about 15 years. He played a vital game in terms of growing the business.
Not part of the family.
Not part of the family.
Okay.
He's a non-family member. And I joined in 2009. So immediately out of graduation and joined the business.
You always wanted to be part of the business.
Yes, I was very inclined to that. Aspirational, but probably quite reckless at that age. And got in, I had about basic training for a year. Then I moved on to Dubai. I stayed there for 3 years, operated 2 outlets, which we had back then. Now we still have 1. Then dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. That was in 2012. And it was just 3 years into my twist into the business. And post that, I think after we lost him in 2015, things did change a lot because he was the man in control. And the brothers were always there as moral support. And when you have just a manager and not an owner manager at that time, he went about getting a lot aggressive. And yes, did grow the brand, more outlets came in, a lot of systems and process came in. He also left in 2018. That's when I took over as CEO. Because for me, I'm left with...
2018, how many stores were there?
We were about 26 stores in 2018, yes. And that time I was just new, was more like a spectator, did not have a father who was a guiding light, though I had my uncles. But then their influence in the business was far lesser than my dad's. And the system had changed in the 3 years that he left us, with our man leaving with a lot of probably garbage. And from there, I think I took over with a lot of burden and responsibility. And came COVID, everything came crashing down on us. I think that was a time which I really missed my father, where sir was just mentioning, how he's a boss at work and a father at home. That was something I really missed back then, because there was no guiding a light for us. There was no direction. Then thanks to the education which I could do, being part of IIM Bangalore, it gave me that kind of an exposure to take things as it came forward. And post-COVID, I think we went about liquidating an asset, clearing all our debts. We reiterated the whole, whiteboard. We went back and created a new vision and a mission statement, where we eventually came down to having a plan called Vision 2030. I think for me, it was more of a turnaround that I created in a way with the help of a traditionally homegrown team. We're still not even soft professional, like sir said. We work with a lot of professional consultants, but we have an absolutely homegrown team who have dedicated their loyalty towards the brand. And I think that is an absolute blessing for me.
How many family members in the business right now?
Currently, as board members, we are 6, 2 seniors and 4 of the third generation. And there are extended family members who are not part of the actually the promoter shareholding, but rather working in the business. There's a lot of second cousins and third cousins. And I think that way we've grown in as a family. So Empire, as we call it today, is truly a family business.
And not all your family members are in the business, right?
Not all, yes.
Your
not all.
brother is a car designer.
Yes, but he's strategically involved because
Okay.
he does a lot of design elements, and his seniority is always commanded and respected. So that way, I think we are always together. So the eldest person is always sitting on the big chair, and everything happens via consent. Though everything is earmarked, like I take care of the whole organization, there are cousins who are looking at specific brands within, and they have that absolute freedom and authority which we have given for them to function, make mistakes, learn from them. So we don't come with loads of cash sitting at home. That's what people really think about family businesses, where pillow ke niche rahega, iske niche rahega. Nahi, hum log wo sab karte nahi hain. We are professionally trying to conduct ourselves and very aspirational to reach a stage where we can someday go for an IPO. Yes, systems and processes are key. So we have a center of excellence today, which is redefining the way we look at serving food on restaurants.
You were saying?
He had used the word reckless, and he used COVID. With the younger generation, like what you asked me, and the people who join in from the family at any point of time, that calculated risk, recklessness, if you don't allow them, they don't feel the growth. They don't feel they're doing something. They don't get pumped up. So we used to always keep that in mind. You know, okay, calculated risk, reckless, no problem. Let them do that reckless activity. We'll see where it goes. We are always there. And COVID gave us a huge learning. Our entire manufacturing processes, weavers, karigars, everybody, nobody's house stopped, nobody's work stopped. How much of a raw material they had, through the lockdown, money was being sent to them from home, and they were told to keep manufacturing, don't stop manufacturing, keep manufacturing. And today, because of COVID, mine is, I think, the only store in the country in this product range who opens at 6:30 in the morning. Our store opens at 6:30, closes at 9:30 in the night.
And their customers.
Yes, we have customers by 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Who are larger buyers, come in the morning preferably.
Okay. How important is community when it comes to building a family business? Whether it is the Marwari community or the Malayali Muslim community, how important is that? Or even the community around the store. Let's not even go like that. How important is that?
See, there are two communities we build. One is our internal organic community. That is all the stakeholders of the business.
Which is huge, from the weavers and
Yes, all the
do you buy
entire
your own
community.
thread also separately?
Yes.
So
So right from the thread, dyer, printer, everybody, including your own employees, staff,
how big is that
stakeholders,
community?
all more than 12, 13,000 people today. So each and every family member was taught, okay, this is a community. This is our community. This is a Mysore Sari Udyog community. The other community is for grounding and bearing, which is the other community, your friends, relatives, family, extended community. So that was the learning process as a father to them, and how I learned from my father. Growing this community, which was for the business, was a learning they had to go through even today. If a person is a weaver who is supplying you one sari a week, and there is another one who is supplying you 500, they are at the same plane. Right? The respect given to them, the time given to them has to be totally dedicated. Not ke yaar ye ek sari de raha hai, isko chodo. No. They have to be given. If you want to engage with them, they have to be respected. And all the members, right from top to bottom of the team. So touch wood, with God's grace, today also 90% of our staff, they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to leave. For them, if they have 2 hours extra, they'll say, no, I'd rather go to the store. I don't want to sit at home. So that's how two communities of ours function together at the same time.
I've always believed that we are in the people business rather than the food business. And when I say people business, everything that we do on a daily basis involves people. So every stakeholder is a person. And from the neighbors to its customers to suppliers, so the whole supply chain involves people. And that really taught us the value of hospitality. And for us, the community as such is very large. We have people employed from 16 states of the country. So I have employees from within 16 states of the country.
You have employees who've seen you as a little child.
Yes, exactly. So there are employees who are as old as 43 years in the business. And like sir was saying, the retention factor is much higher because that is a very strong community where people are heard. And they have put before everything. See, our second value comment goes this way, where it's people before profit. So when we've highlighted the whole factor that people are the drivers to this business, to the community, because like I said, Empire is a brand by the people, of the people, and for the people. And we've been open late into the night, just like Sir is open at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. We are open probably till 3 a.m. in the night. And it is an absolute service. And it is complete where Sir was saying if there is an extra hour there, they don't say no. And they don't leave. Even if they have left for a bigger option, they always come back saying no. We have not received this comfort or love. It is that what matters and sustains in a longer way than the money that comes into our pocket. Because end of the day, for us to be happy as an employee or as a supplier or as a vendor or even a department gentleman who visits us probably every week, we've built relationships over time and that are long lasting. And me as third generation, I've seen my father do it, my grandfather do it, my uncles do it. And stepping into their shoes has not been easy. Like I said, being reckless, we are always inhumane. And today, that people before profit is always there. And that is the first thing that comes to our mind before, we get into an argument also. So I believe in listening, hearing them out. So we ensure that grievance factor is very highly prioritized. So with all of that, we've created a community of ourselves, about 4,000 odd people who are working with us and indirectly supporting another 10, 12,000. So I think that way, the community is at large, sir. So there is, like sir said, from internal to external, there are many factors all binding us together.
Now, unfortunately, this is a job you can't retire from because you've built it yourself. There's no retirement. You're always on the job. And what you leave for the generation afterwards, creating a kind of product, a kind of heritage, is also very important. And also you're hoping that the generation after will actually come into the business. So you have to make it that attractive for them. How do you do that?
See,
because it can't all be just because they're your children's children that they're going to say, okay, fine, we'll do it.
So what we have done is 2016, 17, we started harder professionalization. Slowly by 2022, 2023, we have moved most of the family members to board positions and a part of responsibilities. But day-to-day handling is slowly going more and more professionalized way. On that topic, we are also a case study at IIM Ahmedabad, the only in our trade, that professionalization in a family-run business. So the aspirations and the things what the youngsters want to do are way beyond what were available to us in our young days. So if that flexibility of them being able to live life and run business is not going to be there, the business will not have a strong succession. So we put in mentors, we have gone the professional way, we have got a board, we have got 2 board members who are outside the family. All my professionals are board members at the required places. And slowly we are moving most of the family members into board positions. That way they will be able to run this business for longevity, and in a better and a faster way they will be able to grow. This is the only way we can empower them to grow faster. And slowly they have also started, exploring other new avenues and businesses, which now is possible because they have that time and they have the professional mindset now that how it can be done.
And they have the funds to do interesting
Now
things.
they
Let's
have.
not
I
forget
didn't
that.
have when I started.
Important point that we were discussing with you also, Shakir. What is it that building of legacy is a reason why people still stick to the family business, because it's part of your legacy, it's part of your name. What is it that you want to leave to the next generation? What is it that you want to... First I'll ask him, then I'll ask you.
I think it's a little different from what Sir has spoken here. I think we've reached that epitome wherein it's time that we start planning on the succession, because we've grown as a large business. And today we have 6 hands working together. And at the same time, now our children are growing slowly. So what are we really going to be leaving?
And are the children interested?
They're very young, probably just 7, 8, and one is just 12.
But compared to you at 7 and 8, how much interest?
See, I used to love going with my father on the weekend, sitting in his lap and going to the restaurant. Though we were just one restaurant, meeting people, how we used to go about, and his strict scrutiny levels of, inspecting every other dish that was prepared there. So I'm an old school thinker that way,
There's
but
also
with modern approaches.
Less distraction then.
Exactly.
No iPad,
So
no
for us,
YouTube,
I think we are also building.
Huh.
We are also building on systems and processes, because you can't have the same 30-year-old chef or master who's been cooking forever, right? His hands are not available there. And today, the new generations are not very flexible in terms of doing many things. So everybody wants to stick to a certain, a specialization. Now even the younger cousins, two of them, he's like, I want to get into a coffee and a restaurant, like a cafe kind of a concept. This is what we want to do. And another person wants to grow the fried chicken brand across the country in a very speed over efficiency kind of a system. But sitting at the helm, you need to understand, is it really possible? Do our resources allow all of that? So for me, I think I've taken as priority to build on the foundation further. There was a certain level of foundation that was available. So I'm trying to build on that, strengthen it further in such a way that more branches can be built over that. So for us today, if we can look at complementing businesses. So we've launched our own packaged drinking water. The next, we're looking at packaging. Why not? And we have enough hands to support all of that kind of growth. So I like the earlier involvement within the family where they understand the family business, the values, the systems, the processes, the protocols that are there. So we are also working with a consultant who's a family business consultant, where not just mentoring, trying to address a lot of issues that would be there, where on the face we might not talk about it, but still in my heart I know I didn't like this about him or about her. So we're coming along in a way that we strengthen the whole legacy that's already been there. And if it has been 60 years, can it last for another, let's say 100 years or 150 years? Things might change, but the legacy needs to live on. The businesses might change, but will the legacy go on? Can I proudly say I am from the NKP Empire family? That is my identity today. And will my son carry that forever? That is what is a question that we're working on it every day. It only gets better with time. And with generations, understanding their needs, their desires, their aspirations is going to be a far bigger challenge than what we face in our businesses today. So I think it is something which we'll have to go with the flow, but have an absolute vision as to where you want the legacy to go on.
Now, with the professionalization of the business, obviously it will remain a family business, but one of the, I would say one of the dangers is, in a lot of businesses, family businesses which are multi-generation, is that you lose sight of the core business. Like it's still sarees, but next generation will come and say we want to do something else, and like you said, another restaurant, and your juice and your water. How do you ensure that your core stays the most important?
Like what Shakir mentioned now, over the next 50 years, 100 years, you don't know how things are going to change, which we ourselves have seen in 43 years how it has changed. So slowly, we have to adapt to it. If you're not going to adapt, you're out. There are certain products today which we sell, like ready-mades, ready-to-wear, these things. We never kept even one piece in our organization, in the entire store, right? But slowly, over the years, we had to add them. But we stuck to the values of what is it, the product that we are going to sell the fabric-wise. Am I going to sell this or this? So that is where the core will continue, where they'll be able to stick to their basic core lines and values. I must tell you an interesting thing. Any of the professionals coming on also, we don't engage them for a week till they don't actually feel our organization on front end, back end, understand the values and are able to say, okay, I am okay with these values and this vision. That's when we start engaging with them. So the continuity is going to be there, and the name is what is important, which will continue, MSU, right? But products will definitely change over the years, and that adaptation is very important.
Now, for you, the example would be something like K Hospitalities. Copper chimney is now a very small part of the big business.
Yes.
And that was the first thing. Do you envision a kind of period like that happening to Empire, or do you think the...
See, the idea is to just not remain opening more restaurants across the globe. No, the idea or the vision is to be a global food company. We want to be in the restaurant business as the core business because the core values were built around it. And that is something with actions that we teach the next generation that are coming in. Because like I said, from trust to people for profit, all these are that you have to live by. And when I say a global food business, I have a story to tell. So the product need not be served on a plate. I can even take it into a packet. So for us, the global outreach need not be in the form of a restaurant alone. It can be in the form of even a packaged food, but the name is going to remain just like Sir said. So this is how we are planning to take it forward, yes.
I want to thank both of you. I think we have 22 seconds left, but any last words of what you want to see as your personal legacy, not the businesses?
I'm very sure the business is in very good hands in the next generation, and they are definitely going to make our vision come true of, in the ethnic space, we are a go-to brand in the country.
And in the Bheja fry space?
Actually, we are redefining the way we run restaurants, the restaurant businesses run, where it can be run truly on systems and process, and again at the same time not compromising on the authenticity or the originality of the dish by itself. And like I said, the core value always remains traditional. So there will be a human being standing at that kadai and cooking it by himself and tasting it. वो चख के बोलेगा भाई ये perfect है. So we will not automate things where we're going into in AI. AI will be a part of our business, but in a different form, not in the form of cooking. Yes, and again, everything is going to be built on its values. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. Thank you for this lovely chat.
Thank you, Bikramji. Thank you, Shakir.
I
Thank
am,
you so much, everyone, for giving us a year.
And
Absolute pleasure
I
and
must
honor. Thank
confess,
you.
I am a bigger customer of his than yours.
Please, all of you have a great evening.